If I hadn't lose my mind, if I hadn't touched feeling, I would lose my soul the way I do. And I don't have to think, I only have to do it. Results are always perfect, but that's old news. Would you like to hear my voice sprinkled with emotion? Then it at your birth, I can't see the end of me, my own expense. I cannot see formulate infinity, stored deep inside of me. Formulate infinity, stored deep inside of me. If I hadn't lose my mind, if I hadn't touched feeling, I would lose my soul the way I do. And I don't have to think, I only have to do it. Results are always perfect, but that's old news. Would you like to hear my voice sprinkled with emotion? Then it at your birth, I can't see the end of me, my own expense. I cannot see formulate infinity, stored deep inside of me. Formulate infinity, stored deep inside of me. Welcome to the show, baby. Big Daddy Show, where we talk about everything and nothing all at once. There is no subject, taboo, or off the table here at the Big Daddy Show. Yes, one man ripping the mic. We used to be able to play videos, but StreamYard's kind of got cucked out. Now I have to pay for that feature. But I can still play music, though. That's the one good thing. I can still play music. Yeah, for those unfamiliar with the show, I'm Big Daddy. I rip the mic. Like I said, we talk about everything and nothing all at once. Break down the various current events that are going on. Give my hot takes on that shit. Play good music. Tell some jokes. We might even talk a little bit of paranormal, conspiracy-related shit. Relationships, religion. There is no subject, taboo, or off the table here at the Big Daddy Show. Yeah, I like to talk a lot of shit. Sometimes it gets me into trouble. I get struck quite a bit. I just lost my Twitter account here recently. Yeah, the thing I had suspected actually happened. Yeah, for those that missed last week's show, I briefly talked about how I got banned on Twitter for 7 days because I had answered a hypothetical question. Somebody had made the statement, "Is Donald Trump deserving of a third term? Would you support him?" So I answer, "Only if Fauci and Gates are publicly executed." And then like that, after I hit the send button, it took me to a whole different screen and told me that I was banned for 7 days for inciting violence and blah, blah, blah. So what I did was I appealed it. I challenged the shit. And what happened was I actually fucking won the appeal. Yep, they told me, yep, looks like we made a mistake. Your account has been restored. The only problem is when I try to log into the account, it still tells me that my account is locked out because of hate speech or whatever. And I don't even have the option to fucking fill out another help request form because it tells me, "Oh, you've already filled out a help request form. It's in the queue already." Like, no, motherfuckers, you've already emailed me and told me that you made a mistake and the count has been restored, but it's not. So basically what happened was I got caught up in a glitch. some sort of a fucking glitch. The AI checking the AI with zero human oversight. See, this is the problem with AI. The people believe that the AI is infallible, so they have no human oversight. So what happens when the AI fucks up? Well, then you have another AI check it. But what happens when that AI fucks up? And when you have no human oversight, then like that, people like me fall through the cracks, and like that, I'm completely locked out of my Twitter account. So what I did is I fired up one of my alternative ones, and it took me over a year of grinding to get 50 followers. Such is the way. Like, Jesus Christ. It'll take me another year to get another 50 followers, probably. Yeah, Twitter. Doom scrolling, it's bad for you anyway. All they're trying to do is evoke the negative emotions out of you. All the shit in the news you hear, anything that's going to be put in your feed, it's all going to be negative bullshit, meant for the purposes of extracting negative spiritual energies from you. Once you understand and realize the nature of that, well, once you truly understand and realize the nature of that, then what you do is you don't get angry over stupid shit, and you don't give those invisible entities that precious energy that they love so much. Boy, they're farming a lot of loosh from the public over this this latest thing that happened. This fella by the name of Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Yeah, when I first heard about this, my very first reaction was, who the fuck is Charlie Kirk? Like, I seriously had no idea who this guy was. Boy, that just goes to show the guy must have been pretty based, I guess. If I've never fucking heard of you, that means the algorithms don't like your ass. Because if the algorithms don't like your ass, they don't fucking show you. I've never fucking heard of this guy. Yeah, the algorithms don't like me. Yeah, the leftists don't like this guy either, apparently. He got killed by a leftist, apparently. That's what the news says. But I've learned at this point in the game to never trust anything I fucking hear in the news. And the more shit that's filtering out, the more it sounds like the person that they pinned this shooting on is actually a patsy. So yeah, he sounds like a patsy. The whole thing kind of stinks to high heaven. My spidey senses are going off, let's put it that way. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. I guess he was a prominent figure in on the right, conservative spaces, talking shit to leftists at various college campuses, and I guess he pissed them off. I guess so. They killed him. Yeah, a lot of people are acting surprised over this shit too. Acting like this is the first time the left has engaged in any sort of violence against their opponents. I don't like what you're saying, so rather than debate you, I'm just going to kill you. Yeah, I've been saying it all of my goddamned life. I've been saying it. Anybody who's listened to the show long enough knows that I've been saying it. The leftist supremacist movement is real. Make no mistake. And it is bar none, beyond any shadow of a doubt, beyond any degree of equivocation, the greatest threat on planet motherfucking Earth. It really is. The leftist supremacist movement is real. If you don't think and believe the insane bullshit that they think and believe, why, you are lesser than. You're not even deserving of the title of human, and thus they will hunt you like an animal. Yeah. Locusts, like locusts, they coming for your soul. They coming for the motherfucking children's genitals. Yeah, apparently the person that they're pinning this killing on, he was like heavily tied to the trans community. He was dating a troon or something. He was in a throuple with a troon or a furry or some fucking crazy shit. Hardcore leftist, completely radicalized by social media, Reddit, that kind of shit. Oh, I tell you what, these troons, they're about almost as violent as black people. Really. Fuck. I mean, they commit almost as much crimes per capita. Fuck. Yeah, troons. They have to be designated a terrorist organization. Yeah, they want you to affirm their gender. Whatever just happened to crazy. Like, no, bitch, you crazy. You're not a woman. You're a mentally ill man. LARPing around as a woman. You need to be put into a fucking insane asylum. Yeah, but my instincts tell me this was a deep state hit. Probably Mossad. This is what I'm thinking. I just listened to a remote viewer talk about how they looked into this, and they said that, yeah, the kid is a patsy. This was a deep state operation, like a deep state operation that had been in plan for a long time, I guess. And when you hear about the nature of the whole fucking thing, yeah, it does sound like a fucking deeply planned deep state operation. The kid was wearing a certain shirt, and then you see all sorts of other people wearing the same shirt. Turns out there was an organization that gave away a bunch of these same free shirts, like leading up to it. The kid ran off of the roof. He didn't have a rifle on him when he jumped off the roof, but all of a sudden the rifle was found fully assembled in the forest. That don't make no sense. And then you look at a certain footage. It looks like a dude who's dressed in he looks like a military guy, whoever he is. But when the shit goes down, it looks like he's the one that actually shoots Charlie Kirk using a handheld assassin's gun. Anybody who's ever seen these things that like spies and assassins use them, they're these tiny little guns you can hold in the palm of your hand, and you just kind of squeeze your palm forward and it shoots out a single bullet. And it shows this fucking guy sitting there with his hand, and it clearly looks like he's got a fucking small miniature assassin handgun, and you see the trajectory of it and everything. It looks like he was the one that shot Charlie Kirk. He's fucking completely calm when everybody's fucking like going crazy too. Like he was clearly doing something with his hand, and you can see a little tiny barrel peeking out between his fingers. It's like, was that the fucking assassin right there? They caught him on camera. No, this doesn't fit with the narrative, though. Yeah, something tells me there's some fuckery going down. Maybe Charlie Kirk himself wasn't even a real person. He himself was a crisis actor. And the entire operation was to take this guy, prop him up, and have him become somewhat famous for the sole purpose of sacrificing him, shooting him on camera. But the whole thing was staged. They were all crisis actors. And we are the ones being fooled with this whole thing. Charlie Kirk is actually still alive. And the whole thing was a fucking ruse. Have you seen the magical disappearing ring? You look at a close up of Charlie Kirk's hand. The fucking ring switches fingers. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell is that all about? That looks like an AI glitch. And then Trump makes some sort of a statement afterwards, and that was clearly an AI deep fake. You look at the fucking hands, he's sprouting extra fingers on his fucking hands. Some fuckery's going down. It's like we're all being manipulated for a certain purpose, certain schemes and scams are going on. Yeah, I was listening to this other team of remote viewers releasing their info that they had did during the month of October of 2024, almost a year ago. And they were working on blind targets. And the blind target that they were working on was, will the U.S. military be deployed against the citizens at any point after the election? That was basically the gist of what they were looking at. And almost every remote viewer came away with the very same thing. And one of them came away with something that basically blew the lid on the whole thing. And now it makes perfect fucking sense. But what it turns out is, after Trump got elected, a vast cabal of individuals that truly run the country, the shadow government, the quote unquote deep state. They went deep underground and they're in an underground bunker hiding out right now. And what they are doing is they are manipulating all of this. Like they're staging all of these events to trick Trump into eventually implementing martial law. That's what this is all about. I've said this before about Donald Trump, about how dangerous he truly is because he's not a real leader. He's a delegator. Like he'll delegate people that he thinks are responsible and he'll just let them do whatever. Kind of like how he did with the pandemic, Operation Warp Speed bullshit. And they know this. So what they're doing is they're manipulating Trump. And they're playing him like a goddamn Stradivarius is what they're doing. Like we already see it ramping up. He's sending military over there into DC, pacifying that area. Chicago's next. What they ultimately want to do is ramp up these events and have Trump end up using the military and ultimately implementing martial law, because these are the guys who are truly running shit behind the scenes. It's the military, like the shadow military is what they are, like the deep state. Like when you go to the deepest levels of it, it's like these dark elements of the military that work hand in hand with these evil ETs. And those are the ones that are fucking truly running the shit. All they're doing is just at the fucking orders of the ETs, basically. And when you understand the nature of just how scripted this whole Charlie Kirk bullshit truly is, Trump and his people are being led by the nose by this cabal of fucking people underground that are trying to manipulate him into ultimately cracking down on the American people, taking away as much of our freedoms and civil liberties as possible, and ultimately implementing some sort of pseudo-fascistic police state where they will ultimately come in and take over after fucking Trump is deposed and he's gone. He's basically laying the groundwork for them is what he's doing. He's being manipulated and used like a pawn, like a fucking bull, like the matador manipulating the bull. All he's going to do is just keep ramping this shit up. And they say at some point they're going to let off explosions. Like everything's just going to keep ramping up until they eventually take away all of our freedoms and civil liberties and turn us into a military police state. And Trump is being used to fucking achieve this. It's up to us to wake up and realize the nature of what's really going on and not go along with it. Like a lot of people are fucking pissed off over this shit, calling for blood on the side of the left. Like the left has been calling for blood on people on the right, and they've been taking it for years. The right just speaks about it a little bit, and the left's all of a sudden, oh, we got to calm things down a little bit. We got to tone down the rhetoric. Like, really? Really? You motherfuckers have been calling people like me Nazis for fucking years. And you didn't think that this was going to have some sort of a backlash at some point? Radicalizing large portions of the American people to be used like puppets in a fucking kabuki theater to ultimately take away everybody's freedoms and civil liberties? Fuck. Just look at what they're doing over there across the seas in the UK. Yeah, the reason why I know this whole Charlie Kirk thing, it was a deep state hit and why Mossad was probably involved. When I say deep state and Mossad, it's basically the same fucking thing. Like once you like become black pilled enough, you understand and realize the United States of America is nothing more than a vassal state to the nation of Israel. We really are. There is no difference between the deep state and Mossad. It's the same fucking thing. But anyway, the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, 'twas no more than about 3 hours later, the United States Senate quietly voted to block the release of the Epstein files. Yep, that actually happened. They voted to block the release of the Epstein files. While all of this commotion was going on with Charlie Kirk, while no one was looking, let's forget about the fact that 9/11 happens the next day, you know? Nobody's talking about 9/11 and what might have really happened there. Yeah, the whole world is their stage, and they're the ones who put on the production. Mossad, they're the ones that said that shit, not me. That'd be funny if the whole thing was staged. It was all just a deep fake, just to try to trick people into escalating shit even more. And then all of a sudden they'll let off a bomb or something, and it's all to trick Trump's stupid ass into unleashing the military on his own people. Fuck. Trump is so fucking stupid. He's so dangerous. I kind of wish something would happen to him. That way JD Vance could take over. But although I don't even think JD Vance would be any different, really. They just take him out and replace him with a body double and AI too. It's a slippery slope with this AI shit. It really is. Yeah, I talked about how they want to fucking do the same shit here in America like they've done over there in the UK. I guess the people over there in the UK, they're starting to fucking get pissed off and stand up. Yeah, there's this famous guerrilla street artist by the name of Banksy. He does these street murals. And what happens is these street murals, they usually get strategically removed and then sold at auction for millions of dollars. And they usually have some sort of political messaging behind them. Anyway, Banksy did another painting. He strikes in the dead of night, does these paintings. And he did one on the side of this famous like building over there where I forget what the building was called exactly. It was associated with justice and law and all that. And it had the Queen's name on it. It was an important building over there where those bigwigs like to go and pass judgment on people. I guess they had just arrested over 900 protesters, and that was probably one of the catalysts that caused him to do the painting. But what the painting was, he tagged it like spray paint, like a graffiti artist on the side of this famous Law and Order Justice building there in Britain. And what he did was he painted a picture of one of these wig wearing judges holding a gavel, beating a protester, holding a sign, a blank sign, and the blank sign has blood splattered on it. And it's symbolizing Britain's authoritarianism against free speech. Well, anyway, like I said, these Banksy paintings, normally they're strategically removed and sold for millions of dollars. Instead of doing that to this one, they went in there and they scrubbed it and like got rid of the painting. Only problem is when they scrubbed the painting, it left this ghostly outline image of the judge beating the guy. And it made it even more iconic, I guess. And it was just a symbol of just how fascistic the United Kingdom has become. Yeah, Nerdscape knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it looks more haunting now. It's like this shadow outline. The Banksy painting. Yeah, it's a good meme. I was almost going to use it for the thumbnail. Yeah, and I guess Tommy Robinson has decided to lead a march here in Britain recently. And the UK media is like completely trying to play it down, saying like, oh, maybe between 10,000, 22,000 people showed up. No, no, there was millions of people. Like Tommy Robinson knew they were going to lie about it too, so he rented a helicopter to do like an aerial view so that people would see how many people were there. And the streets of London were just packed with people protesting how fucking fascistic their government's become. And the government was like fucking totally downplaying it too. Yeah, sounds like they're finally starting to grow balls over there. Yeah, I'm a doing well. I'm a surviving. Living out here in the country a little bit different than living out there in the city, where you got to deal with transgenders and blacks and liberals and shit like that. Yeah, I don't got to worry about getting stabbed on a bus if I decide to take a bus out here. I don't even know if they even got buses out here. Yeah, Tommy Robinson. Maybe he should get into politics. I don't know if he could ever become a member of parliament. Probably not. But it seems like he's the only real semblance of a leader they got over there right now that's trying to fucking wake the people up and get them to rise up. Yeah, over there in Ireland, I guess Conor McGregor, the famous UFC fighter, he was going to throw his hat into the ring and run to become the president of Ireland, and he was floating that idea out there. And there was various like internal polling done in there in Ireland, and they said that if Conor McGregor decided to run for president in Ireland, basically he would win in a resounding landslide. Like that's how badly he would defeat any competition. And Conor McGregor has gone on the record as saying that he wants to do something about all those damn immigrants and reform the country. Yeah, Conor McGregor. He was going to get in there and fucking and kick some ass. But something happened. Somebody sat Conor McGregor down and gave him the talk. They gave him the fucking talk. Or maybe he saw what happened to Charlie Kirk and he decided to change his mind. But anyway, Conor McGregor has decided to withdraw from any sort of notion about him running for president in Ireland. I'm not going to do it, mate. I've decided it's not in my best interest or the best interest of my family to do it right now. Like, really? Your fucking country is being invaded by a brown menace. Now is the time to step up. Yeah, somebody fucking gave him the talk. Or it could be that he was found guilty of sexual deviance. But then again, so was Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump, he's the world's biggest rapist in the eyes of the left. Don't you know he's a rapist? Yeah, I wonder. I mean, Conor McGregor might have raped the bitch, but in this day and age, unless there's like real evidence, like video evidence, you can't really trust bitches. You really can't. They're so fucking treacherous. I don't know anything about the case. Like I said, he might have raped the bitch for all I know. But this has kind of been known that Conor McGregor had some sort of a sexual assault charge on him. And even though people know that he had a sexual assault charge on him, he would have still won the election in a resounding landslide. That goes to show right there. Yeah, people would rather have their country fixed. Like, I don't care if he's a rapist. If he's going to deport all these illegals, I don't care. Get him in there. Yeah, let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. Yeah, too bad these Western nations wouldn't take a page out of the playbook of Nepal. The country of Nepal. Yeah, recently they actually had a full-blown revolution and they overthrew their government. They even burnt down the Capitol building. This is how fucking hardcore this revolution was in Nepal. All orchestrated via social media. Yeah, apparently the Nepalese government is one of these typical corrupt fucking governments. And the people were getting fed up with it and they were starting to call that shit out on social media. So the Nepalese government decided to crack down on social media and take away the social media of their people. And the people got pissed and they rose up. And it ultimately culminated in the burning of the fucking Capitol and the overthrow of the government. And you want to know how they elected their new leader? They did it via a Discord poll. Yes, the app known as Discord. All of the Nepalese people, well, I guess mostly Gen Z and the young ones, they got together after burning the fucking Capitol, and then they had a poll, a vote on Discord, and they voted in their new leader. I guess it was some female. She was a former justice of the courts or something who was pro-reform. And the military is recognizing the vote, and they're going to meet with the leader, and like they're going to establish a new government. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's exactly how it should be done. I talked about this in my last show. Flash mobbing the Capitol, fucking executing them all for treason and then burning the fucking thing down. And sure enough, that's what they did in Nepal. That's what they fucking did. I'll be damned. Yeah, these Western nations could take a page out of the playbook of those motherfuckers. They really could. Yeah, that Banksy painting I was talking about, that's a metaphor for what's going on to Western civilization right now. It's time to stand up. Art Bell and chat. Welcome. Yeah, as I prepare for these shows, I look up various news stories, look at various YouTube videos, and I saw an interesting video on YouTube. So I decided to watch it. And they're talking about how the government of Mexico had decided to take 150,000 cartel members and put them on a single island. And that's it. Just dump them on the island. There's no prison guards there, nothing. They just keep them on the island. And what happened was all of these different cartels that were on the island started forming like little gangs and they started fighting each other. And what happened was the U.S. military got involved and they would fly around with drones and they're like watching these cartels going to war with each other. And then they would test out their own drones against them. And basically they turned it into a little mini battlefield where they could do various tests, various social experiments. And I thought, this is the most insane fucking thing I've ever heard. How is this fucking legal? This sounds like the plot of a Far Cry video game. So I had to look this up. And it turns out it wasn't even a real story. It was all fake. And the video was done with AI. I'm like, fuck, this is the future right here of fake news and AI. Yeah, I mean, if they could make a whole fake fucking story like this and they had all of the footage and everything, boy, they could really fucking pull the wool over anybody's eyes in this day and age. I thought that it sounded a little too outlandish. But really, though, that sounds like the good plot to a video game right there, a good Far Cry video game. Cartel Island. They called it Hell Island. Yeah. A story that sounded real but turned out to be fake. Yeah, you want to know a story that sounds fake that turned out to be real? The Battle of Dulce, New Mexico. Yeah, anybody who's familiar with conspiracy theory lore knows about that one. Yeah, deep in the heart of the mountains of New Mexico, Dulce, the mountains, there exists an alien base deep in the mountains. And one time there was a fight there to help liberate a bunch of humans from a bunch of evil aliens. I remember I've known about this story for shit since the 1990s. Ever since Phil Schneider was on the scene talking about the story, the famous case of Phil Schneider, the whistleblower, who committed suicide by strangling himself with his catheter. Beforehand, he said, guys, I'm not suicidal. If something happens to me, rest assured I was murdered. And then that happens. That was the one thing that, like, I always thought the story was bullshit. But then I hear about him getting strangled to death with his catheter wire. I'm like, what the fuck? So maybe the story was real. Yeah, but I heard this team of remote viewers finally decided to look at this whole incident, the Phil Schneider story and the Dolce base and all that. And fucking, it turns out it was actually real. Like they started out by looking at how Phil Schneider had lost those fingers on his hands when he talked about how he got hit with an alien blast. And they said literally it was some sort of particle beam weapon he got hit with, and it like fucking incinerated his hand off, basically almost. And then from there they look further and they're like, oh shit, this whole story was real. And it turns out it was much more deeper and darker than we all could think. Now I've talked about this thing that we did before, but they call it the Eisenhower deal, where we made a deal with a bunch of aliens back in the Eisenhower administration. technology in exchange for abducting humans, that kind of shit. Well, basically, these group of ETs were part of that one that did that deal. And what they did was they're working hand in hand with a certain branch of the military. And this certain branch of the military went completely rogue, like shadow military, broke away from the normal military, and they started working exclusively with these evil ETs. And they created this base in Dulce, New Mexico. And what happened was the good guys, led by Delta Force and a bunch of other fucking hardcore special forces, decided to attack the base and liberate it and try to save as many humans as they could. Because like these aliens in conjunction being helped by this group of shadow military were abducting way more humans than was allowed in this treaty. And they're performing all sorts of horrific, grotesque experiments on them and shit. So basically, the whole thing was true. Like we had one group of white hats within the military going to war with a group of black hats within the military who were working hand in hand with a group of evil ETs deep inside of a fucking base in a mountain. And it was a hell of a firefight. And I guess it was like fucking something straight out of hell when they finally got in there and liberated those people. They called it Nightmare Hall for a reason. Like the types of horrific experiments that were going on in there. I guess these ETs, they really look down on humans and they think that they're so superior to us that they could just treat us that way. Yeah, but this is the same group that has the same shadow military that's in underground bases, fucking manipulating the public with these fucking events, trying to trick Trump into ultimately taking away as much of our freedoms and civil liberties as possible and installing like a military dictatorship almost. That way, when they finally come to power again, the entire fucking infrastructure will be there waiting for them to take over, completely created by them or by Trump for them. It's kind of a brilliant plan in a way. And people are too stupid to see it because we got one side that's no matter what Trump does, no matter how fucked up the shit he does, they will always make excuses for him and say that he's doing good and, oh, 5D chess and blah, 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 and shit like that. Like, no matter what, you're never going to convince those people otherwise. Then you got the other group. They just want to see the other side dead, basically. Like the Trantifas of the world and the black people of the world. They just want to see my side dead, basically. And then you got people like me that see it for what it is and like, fuck, we try to just call it out when we can. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be, as the old saying goes. Yeah, once you understand and realize the entire nature of the beast is to extract as much pain, suffering, and negativity out of the collective human soul as possible, then everything they do makes perfect sense. It really does. Yeah, a group of evil reptilians, the ones behind the scenes that use these greys and the mantises as go-betweens and the humans and shit. Kind of like how America will use proxies, like the CIA. Like the exact way the CIA operates is the exact same way that the reptilians operate, basically. Through proxies. You have somebody... why do your own dirty work when you have somebody else do your dirty work for you? You know, we're almost at that halfway mark. I think I'm going to throw on a little music, take a little break, and we're going to come back and rant and rave a little bit more. Yeah, never forget. When it comes to simping, don't be a simp. Don't be a simp. Be a simple man, not a simp. Be a simple man. Don't be a simp. Be a simple man. It's okay to be a simple man, but not a simp. Mama told me when I was young,
Come sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely what I say. If you do this, it'll help some sunny day. Or take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, they will pass. You'll find a woman, you'll find love. Don't forget, my son, there is someone up above. And be simple, kind of man. Be something to love and understand. Better be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Forget your lust for rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. You can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be simple kind of man. Be something love and understand. Better be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this, oh son, if you can? Boy, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, so baby, if you try. All that I want for my son is to be satisfied. Be simple kind of man. Be something to love and understand. Better be simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this, oh son, if you can? Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Scanner, simple man. Be a simple man. Don't be a simp. Be a simple man. It's okay to be a simple man, not a simp.
Crushing a Miss White, dancing with the devil in the dark. Daddy never take no crap. Daddy with the big dick slap. Daddy with that's in life. Crushing a Miss White, dancing with the devil in the day. Like day and night. Telling me now what is the place tonight. Crushing a Miss White, live soul of pain, crushing a miswipe, dancing with the devil in the rain. Crushing a miswipe, feeling my soul a spark, crushing a miswipe, dancing with the devil in the dark. Daddy never take no crap. Daddy with the big dick slap. Daddy with a pimp slap hand. Daddy be the back door man. Yo, what is best in life? Crush your enemies. What is best in life? Crush your enemies. Crush your enemies.
And we're back. All right. Where did we leave off? And we're talking a little bit of conspiracy related stuff earlier. Going full X-Files on this bitch. The Art Bell says, you catch the remote viewer video, team of drawings, guy draws a scope, target, guy leaning over, earthworm Jim, neck in the crosshairs. Don't think I've seen that. Yeah, I watched one earlier from the Fireside Institute. They were the ones talking about how they did that remote viewing session in October of 2024, talking about the escalation and how it's all orchestrated. Yeah, we'll see if how far it fucking goes. Hopefully we don't go full-blown martial law before it's all said and done. Crew drawing in July, August about Charlie Kirk, YouTube. Turned into a flood zone. Take out the Mr. Rogers of soft right, and that happens. Yeah, from what I know about Charlie Kirk, I mean, he wasn't like an Andrew Tate type, or I mean, it's not like he was saying incendiary shit like me. Oh, he seemed rather milquetoast, really. Suspect arrested. Will they end his bloodline? Only the boss daddy know, yo. I have a feeling he's going to get Epsteined. That's my prediction. Whoever this person is they have in custody, he's going to Epstein himself. Like, oh, nothing we could do. It looks like he felt guilty about it. Fuck, I would never go on to these fucking campuses. I can't stand leftists. Well, unless they paid me well. And I was in charge of having my own security team. Yeah, then maybe I would. Go fucking bitch slap a bunch of leftists. Verbally eviscerate them. Lionel Nation said Ben Shapiro is taking over. He promised a tour holding the bloody shirt. And Mike, Lionel said no, he wasn't. He is a puss in boots, lying weasel. Lionel went about 15% Mr. Big on him. Yeah, I heard that. That's another thing that leads me to believe that this is a goddamn deep state hit and Mossad was involved. Not only did the Senate vote to bury the Epstein files yet again 3 hours after it happened, Ben Shapiro is now taking his fucking place over there at wherever he was working. Yeah, something stinks to high heaven with all that. Charlie Kirk EVS CG comic expected about 12 years from now when all is forgotten. Yeah, that's how sleazy Ethan is. If he had decided to do some sort of variant cover with Charlie Kirk on it, I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised, let's put it that way. That's how sleazy of a grifter Ethan is. Yeah, speaking of Ethan, I hear that that he has to pay Preston some money. Yeah, it turns out during that lawsuit that he had, that Ethan lost in some sort of monetary fashion to where he has to pay Preston money. Boy, think about how ironic that is. Think about that for a second from the big picture standpoint. All those people out there that were telling Dean and Vicky, you're going to have to pay Preston $1 million. All the fucking chittering and chattering, just nothing but bullshit. And at the end of the day, what did Dean and Vicky do? Vicky got away without fucking paying the goddamn thing. I think she just got it all dropped. Dean got away with just a kind of a backhanded apology of sorts. And who ended up having to pay the money in the end? It was Ethan. Remember when Ethan was trying to shit on Dean and Vicky about not taking his offer and going along with his lawyer? Hey, you guys can jump in on the case with me and with my lawyer or whatever. Good thing they didn't. Good thing they decided to do their own thing. Because look at what happened to you, Ethan. Yeah, you're the one who had ended up paying the piper in the end. It's time to pay the piper. Or in this case, the pegger. Yes, it's time to pay the pegger. Yeah, the only question is, how much fucking money does he owe him? 10,000? 20,000? 100,000 or more? 5,000? I mean, shit, who knows? It's all tied up in NDAs, I'm sure. It's all tied up in NDAs. But it has to be a significant amount, or else Ethan would have just paid it off, one would think, you know? If it was like $5,000 or even 10 grand, like Ethan would have bit the bullet and paid that off. But if this was like a huge sum, 20, 30 grand, 50 grand or more, heaven forbid, some sort of a six-figure sum, well, I could see Ethan trying to figure out a way to weasel out of it. And it sounds like that's what he did. He tried to weasel out of it. Like saying, oh, it's null and void because somebody said something in a chat and blah, blah, blah. It's like, motherfucker, I think that's up to the judge to decide, not you. Yeah, but anyway, Ethan, he's got to pay up. Yeah, the only question is how much. Fuck. Preston might be able to fund himself another comic. All of that money goes to pay an artist, get another comic book out there. Yeah, I'm sure Preston has put out a lot more comics between now and the lawsuit from now, or from the moment now till the lawsuit began. I bet Preston has put out more comics than Ethan has. And I have no idea how many comics he's put out. I'm just going out on a limb and guessing. Rainbow the Brute. That shit ain't coming out this year. Probably won't even come out next year. Same with Cyberfrog 3. I doubt no one's ever going to see those fucking books. I seriously doubt any of those books are going to come out. Yeah. I got a feeling something's going to happen to Ethan before then. The jab's going to get him. Sorry, guys. I feel it in my heart. I'm going to have to retire. If I try to draw one more page, my heart can't take it. Oh, we understand, Ethan. But he still does YouTube, still collects the super chats. He just finds a convenient way out. I can't draw, guys. One more page, and it'll kill me. The heart won't take it. His fucking cuck fans are so stupid, they would probably believe it, too. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that, because if he actually listens to the show and hears that, he might actually use that as an idea. Like, that's a good idea, Big Daddy. Fuck, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, I could totally see him doing that, playing his simp fans in such a way. It was because of that jab, guys. I know I shouldn't have got it. I should have listened to Wanger. Yeah, you should have listened to Wanger. Yeah, in the end, Wanger had the last laugh. You want to know who doesn't have to worry about keeling over from some sort of itis-related heart condition? Wanger. Because he wasn't stupid enough to take the jab. Oh, fucking real. Day, bow, bow. Chicka, chicka. Yeah, I hear Dick and Vito are having some sort of a beef. Yeah, speaking of Vito, now right when this Charlie Kirk stuff happened, one of these fucking troons that worked for DC came out and was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And this particular DC troon was put in charge of writing a fucking comic, a Red Hood comic. And they had just got started. They just got issue 1 out there. Boy, I thought your boy Zach said that comics were good again. They were no longer woke. Comics are good, guys. Like, really? You got some fucking troon doing a goddamn Red Hood comic or they're celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Are you sure about that, your boy Zach? Now, but anyway, Vito, to show that he stands in solidarity with this troon, decides to go buy a huge stack of the comics that just got canceled. Look, guys, and he shows it off on Twitter to just rub it in everybody's face. And he thought that he wasn't going to get no backlash over that. Yeah. Sounds like he might get replaced on The Biggest Problem. Only problem is, Dick Masterson, like the total beta cuck he is, decided to give away half of his fucking show to Vito. Like, why in the fuck would you have done something so fucking stupid? Like, whatever happens to you afterwards, you deserve it. And now Vito could basically, like, quit the show if he wants and just sit back and just collect the fucking money. Or he could, like, really fucking troll Dick and he could sell his half of the show to a guy like Pod Awful or Maddox, fuck, or any number of fucking enemies that Dick Masterson has. Yeah, Vito, he holds all the cards right now. I have no idea why Dick did that too. I remember that was around the time I stopped watching them, because the only reason to watch that shit was to see Dick Masterson rip on Vito. Because that's the whole point about the show. Fucking, you have this bald, fat, stupid, retarded leftist, and you sit there and rip on him and make fun of him. And once Dick stopped making fun of Vito, like, the whole show went to shit. And it didn't make no sense. And then all of a sudden, Dick decided to give away half of his show to Vito afterwards. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of a fucking dickless cuck beta are you? Like, maybe you are a fucking dick sucker. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, it looks like it's coming to bite Dick Masterson back in the ass. And that's what you fucking get, you stupid piece of shit. This is what happens when you trust leftists. A leftist of Vito's caliber, fucking out there celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, buying Troon comics. Yeah. If anybody would like stand in solidarity with this shooter, it would be Vito, though. Because much like this shooter, Vito also is a Troon aficionado, lives with Troons, fucks them. Yeah, this is the one thing that Vito always gets a pass on that I think he should not get a pass on. If you have sex with a mentally ill man LARPing around as a woman, you are officially a homosexual. I hate to say it, you are officially a homosexual. You've crossed the Rubicon. But nobody ever calls Vito out on that. Yeah, maybe they will now. Maybe the FBI and all of those alphabet agencies are going to start taking a real hard look at these troons and who they live with. And they're going to be put on terror watch lists. Then next thing you know, Vito's on a terror watch list. Not just because he celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, but because he lives with a troon too. And they know how these troons can radicalize these dumb fucking woke leftist men into going and killing for them. Yeah, but ironically enough, they say that the troon that this shooter was living with had turned him into the FBI, like had tried to turn him in or whatever, tried to throw him under the bus. Yeah, I remember somebody had asked Jodie Foster how she felt when John Hinckley Jr. tried to murder Ronald Reagan to try to impress her. And you want to know what Jodie Foster said? Frankly, to be honest, I was kind of impressed. See, that right there is the difference between a real woman and a fucking man LARPing around as a woman. If you try to kill to impress a real woman, she's going to actually be impressed, because that's how fucking sick in the head women are. But if you're shacked up with a mentally ill man LARPing around as a woman, you try to kill someone to impress them, eventually the man's honor is going to fucking rear up and he's going to like, no, this is wrong. And he'll fucking turn you in. At the end of the day, you ain't a fucking woman. No, a real woman would have actually been impressed with that shit. Like how Jodie Foster was impressed with Hinckley. That just goes to show all I'm doing is illustrating the difference between men and women, about how much more sicker in the head women are. Even though you got a fucking man who's so sick in the head, he's LARPing around as a woman. No, but at the end of the day, his male honor still kicked in. And he tried to do the right thing and turned in his fucking lover, his gay lover, for trying to kill Charlie Kirk. Supposedly, if the narrative is to be believed, but I don't believe none of this fucking shit. Like, there's nothing you could say or do to convince me otherwise that this was not a Mossad hit. Like, but Big Daddy, where's the proof? You don't need proof when you got instinct. Yeah, my instincts are very, very rarely ever wrong. Let's put it that way. I'm like the human version of a feral animal. You don't need proof when you got instinct. Yeah, this was a Mossad hit. Almost guaranteed. The world is their stage. They're running the production. Yeah, women. Yeah, they say that the women love voting in these leftist politicians that enact these policies that allow all of these beastly migrants to come to their country and then subsequently begin to start raping all of the women. And people wonder why. Why in the fuck do women willingly do this? Put themselves in this kind of danger by willingly voting in these leftist politicians? It makes no damn sense. They are willingly putting themselves into danger and risking getting raped. Why would they do this? I'll tell you why. All you have to do is look at the #1 best-selling list for women when they look at books, the readership, the types of literature they consume the most. You want to know what it is? It's all rape fantasies. It is. And mostly rape fantasies involving monsters. Yes, vampires, demons, werewolves, minotaurs. Some sort of beast is ravaging a woman and having its way with her. And this is the type of literature they love to consume. This is the reason why they are allowing all of these immigrants to come here. They are purposefully doing this to put themselves in a situation where they can be raped because they want to live out their rape fantasies. Once you wrap your mind around that and understand that, everything makes perfect fucking sense. They want to actually live out their rape fantasies. And the closest thing they will ever get to doing that is by allowing these beastly migrants to come here. And then they'll be walking down the street like, oh no. And like just hoping one of them will drag them into the back alley and have their way with her. That way she can live out her rape fantasy. I guarantee you this is the reason why they are voting these woke leftist politicians in there. Otherwise, why? Why in the fuck would they? They are willingly putting themselves in as much danger as humanly possible in order to live out their rape fantasies. You can write that fucking shit in stone. I think I might be one of the few people actually calling this shit out for what it really is, too. You would never hear Charlie Kirk say that shit. Jesus Christ, if he said that shit, they would have killed his ass a long time ago, like way sooner. No. But then again, the algorithms don't like Big Daddy. I will never reach that level of prominence. You imagine Big Daddy on a fucking college campus saying that type of shit? Jesus Christ. They would have bound over the fucking, it would be like a Dawn of the Dead zombies. Like they'd all start attacking. I'd have to start running and like barricade myself in a building. Dawn of the Dead, more like Dawn of the Dumbass. All of these fucking woke leftists wanting to tear me apart. Yeah, you guys thought Charlie Kirk was bad. Fuck. This is what happens. You got rid of Charlie Kirk and then you unleashed Big Daddy. This is what you fucking get. Yeah, I wonder if that's what's going to happen. A bunch of others, like more hardcore motherfuckers, are going to go into that vacuum left by Charlie Kirk. That would be nice. Yeah, put me on that pedestal. I'll be wearing a bulletproof vest. No, Big Daddy, you got to protect your neck. Yeah, that's right. I'll be wearing a full-blown Hurt Locker. Nah, like I said, if I was to ever do anything like that, I would have my own security detail out there. Make sure they're on the rooftops, all that shit. Make sure I'm nice and surrounded. Make sure they're in strategic locations around the crowd. Make sure each man can't be compromised. Yeah, that would be a hell of an operation. Yeah, I guarantee old Charlie Kirk didn't have that level of operation. He was just going on the people's goodwill. It's like, hey, I'm just here debating people. It's like not like I'm going to get killed or anything. Like, nope. These motherfuckers are crazy. They're fucking crazy. The leftist supremacist movement is real. Make no mistake, I've been fucking saying this shit for years. Yeah, we talked a little conspiracy related shit earlier about aliens, reptilians, Dulce base, all that. Yeah, a lot of people don't like to talk about the reptilians because the moment you fucking say that shit, then normie will completely tune you out afterwards because then they think you're full of shit. And a lot of it's designed that way. Yeah, that's the nature of the reptilian psyop. Greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. Yeah, they say that there's some sort of an alien craft that's coming into our solar system. Not Oumuamua. This is something different. They've been tracking it. They call it 3-Eye Atlas. People familiar with conspiracy theory, paranormal related, whatever, probably familiar with the 3-Eye Atlas that's come into this solar system. They say it's a comet. That's what they're saying it is. But I listened to a couple of videos, two different. One was just a random remote viewer, and the other one was the team of remote viewers on that metaphysical channel. And the single remote viewer said that whatever it is, it's not natural. It's some sort of a craft. But not only is it a craft, but it's in contact with one of the moons of Saturn. That was the data he got away from it. Now, anybody that knows about Saturn, well, the metaphysical channel, their group of remote viewers, when they talked about Saturn, they compare Saturn to the dog man. Like, there are certain things you just simply don't remote view because of just how evil they are. And whenever you look at it, it looks back at you. Reptilians are the same thing. If you look at reptilians, you try to remote view them, they know they're being remote viewed. Same thing with the dog man. And when the dog man knows it's being remote viewed, it tries to come after you in real life. They say it's the same thing with with Saturn. If you try to look at Saturn, the closest thing they could describe it is that movie or Event Horizon. Like, there's something like so dark and evil there that if you try to even come close to looking at it, it will like devour your soul and take you over and turn you evil too. And you hear all of this lore about how Saturn is actually like where the fucking, like, that's where their basis of operation is. Like, it's part of the whole like Loosh harvesting matrix along with the moon. Then you look at the North Pole of Saturn. It looks like a massive like satanic symbol, like a fucking pentagram or something. Yeah, that'd be funny if if in the whole different dimension, like a fourth dimension, astral dimension, like that Saturn area is like some sort of like hellish dimension where all of the demons are, all of the fucking evil archons. That's where they all live. Yeah, but I guess the rings of Saturn, that the whole thing is like a massive like evil fucking area where the aliens hang out, the bad ones. And whatever this spaceship is, it's in contact with one of the moons of Saturn. That's what the singular remote viewer said. And then when the team of remote viewers on the metaphysical channel looked at it, they came away with, yeah, it turns out it is a ship. And it's not just any ship. He didn't want to say it because, like I said, anytime you talk about reptilians, people will just immediately tune you out and think you're full of shit. So he just called it the R word, yeah. Whatever these aliens are, they're the R word ones. And apparently, they're coming as reinforcements to come help out the fucking reptilians that are here already. Because apparently, the good ETs, they're strong and powerful enough to stop these bad ones. The only problem is if they tried to make that play, the reptilians would flip over the board and they would destroy the planet and kill all the humans. So they have to work from the ground up and try to have humanity have some sort of awakening so we realize the nature of what's really going on. That way we can willingly choose to leave on our own without having to be liberated. Because then if they decide to destroy the fucking planet, then all those souls get captured again and then get recycled once again. And we go, fucking all that time is lost. And so rather than risking the reptilians destroying the planet, they're doing a slow burn method where they try to awaken humanity from the bottom up through small channels like this one and others that try to tell people about the nature of the soul trap and shit like that. That way they can choose to leave it willingly once they die rather than go back through it again. But apparently there's a group of good ETs. They're just simply described as the pale-skinned humanoids. I'm guessing they're the Nordics. There might be a different group of pale-skinned humanoids. But apparently this group of reptilians, they're going to go do battle with this group of pale-skinned humanoids. They're going to go duke it out somewhere. So they're just kind of lurking around in our solar system right now. Just imagine if you wanted to perform a drive-by shooting on a certain house in the neighborhood, but the whole neighborhood is full of gangs, and like you gotta slink through the neighborhood and kind of like make your way through there at night. You might have to fight a few gangs here and there. So that's basically what they're doing. They're just kind of slinking their way through here. They're reinforcements coming to fucking help out. But at some point, they're going to have to fight it out with these good aliens. I guess this ship they're on, it's like an ancient ship, but it's at the same time very, very advanced. This war has been going on for aeons throughout all of the universe, I guess. The pale-skinned humanoids versus the reptilians, all of their various proxies and allies and so forth on each side. Yeah, don't think that they can't destroy the fucking planet either. Yeah, I guess, well, we actually fucking did it once before, accidentally. Yeah, I guess there was another remote viewing team, the Fireside Institute. They were looking at the Atlantis. They called it the Atlantis Project. Now, there's underneath the ocean floor, there's all sorts of old ruins, like off the coast of Antarctica and just all over the planet. And so they decided to look at what that was and what led to the cataclysm that caused that and all that. So they just called it the Atlantis Project. They don't know if this was actually Atlantis or not. So they had their team of remote viewers look at these cities on the bottom of the ocean floor off the coast of Antarctica and other places, and also to look at the cataclysm that had caused all of this to happen. And I think they had 3 remote viewers looking at it, and all 3 came back to the same fucking shit. And yeah, it was like a former city, whatever it was. And it was like it was kind of like our cities we have here, but only more futuristic, they said. They were doing a blind target too. This is exactly the same method they use over on the Metaphysical channel. Their remote viewing team, the blind target method. Because you get the most correct data using this method, I guess. But these ruins that were off the coast of Antarctica, they were looking at these ones, and they said like, yeah, there was a city here at one point, but it was something underneath the city that's still there, that's still intact. And I guess when they describe the fucking ruins that are underneath the ocean floor, that was supposedly Atlantis or whatever, what they described was all of them came back with the same shit too. They said, imagine like a stadium, like the Superdome. Anybody doesn't know what the Superdome is? It's like the Superdome in Louisiana. It's like a sports stadium. Just imagine 10 of those, all come, like that's how big it is, like 10 Superdomes. It's like a little mini city inside of it. But when you look up at the sky at the dome, it's some sort of a hologram. Like it's a domed city underground, and the hologram emits a sky. It looks like you're looking up at clouds at a blue sky, and then it comes nighttime, and then you see the stars and all that shit. So even though you're underground, it appears that you're on the surface. And they all came away with the same fucking shit. Like whatever this technology was, it was like highly advanced. But I guess the city, it's derelict now. Like everybody's already dead, though. You wade through it, it's like a fucking foot of water, and but the sky is still intact. You look up in the dome, you can still see the clouds coming on and all that shit. And then you hear something about, flat earth theory, and like, fuck, if a flat earth theory is a real thing, like that was probably the technology that it would be, some sort of a dome technology where you look up and it's a hologram that's projecting a sky at you and projecting space and all that. But I guess this is an actual planet, though, that we're on. But that doesn't mean that a person couldn't live inside of an underground facility and think that they were like living out in the open or whatever on the surface. Kind of like a Truman Show type of a situation. So then they decided to look at what had caused this calamity. And they all came away with the same fucking shit. And it began at what they said was a shack. It looked like a shack. It was just a building on top of a mountain somewhere. And they say there are people frantically dashing around, collecting papers, and like they're getting ready to evacuate. And there was a black woman there, and she was doing the remote viewing, and she was like, "Oh, these are my people." So when a black woman says that, you just have to assume that the person she's talking about are black. So you got a bunch of black people running around. Like this is kind of a science. It was a group of scientists apparently, and they had done something real stupid. They fucking done something so stupid, I guess. And when they tried to finally figure out what these fucking scientists did, like it all goes back to the cataclysm that caused the Earth to be destroyed. And one of the remote viewers saw what they said was a mushroom cloud. And they didn't know how big the mushroom cloud was at first. They just said you could just see it in the distance. And it was glowing. Like it had like orange streaks in it. And like they didn't know if it was a nuclear explosion or a volcano. Or so they went to try to get a grasp on how big it was. And they only thought it was like 2 miles big. Like, no, it's bigger than 2 miles. So then they went out and was like, oh no, this is even bigger than 100 miles. So they decided to do a space aerial view to see how big this mushroom cloud was. And I guess it was so big, it covered almost 1/4 of the fucking planet. And what had caused this fucking explosion, like it was just crackling with energy too, like orange fucking energy. What these fucking scientists did is, anybody who's ever seen that movie, The Core, is an old, like cheesy movie they did almost 20 years ago about the Earth's core needed to be rebooted. So they took this fucking worm type of thing with a laser on it, like a kind of like a train, and they bore a hole to the center of the Earth, and they put some nukes down there to kickstart the Earth's core or whatever. Well, anyway, what these fucking black scientists did was they dug a fucking hole to the center of the Earth, And I guess once they penetrated the 8 mile thick, like there's a crust that circles the core of the earth that's 8 miles thick. And the core of the earth is under such immense pressure that if you were to actually drill down into that core of the earth, well, guess what? It's going to pop like a balloon almost. And all that fucking pressure is going to come shooting up out of that hole. And that's what happened. They dug a fucking hole to the center of the earth and they penetrated the core of the earth. And the core of the earth spurted out of that fucking hole. And it caused such a massive explosion that it killed almost everybody on the planet. Like, I think only a couple thousand people were left when the smoke cleared and the dust settled. And it was all because of their stupidity. Black people accidentally destroyed the fucking planet with their stupidity. And I guess they think that this happened like about 70,000 years ago. So this was a cataclysm that happened even before the Younger Dryas period. And one of the remote viewers, I tried to do an analogy, like going back millions of years, like on the planet Earth. Just imagine like you're watching a Broadway play on the stage. You're watching different actors. They'll erect different stages on the set. But at some point, they're going to take down those sets, and then they're going to erect new sets, and then new actors are going to come onto the stage. And at the end of the day, the actors and the sets will always change. But the one thing that stays the same, it's the stage. And that's what the earth is. Imagine the earth as a stage, and it's got all these different actors that always come onto it, all of these different props that get put up. But at the end of the day, some sort of massive cataclysm will always come through and fucking wipe the slate clean. And then it starts all over again. And it's happened so many times, I guess. And this was just one of those times. Like, we accidentally fucked it up that time. But think about it like that. If you can actually fuck up a planet to that degree by drilling a hole to the center of the earth, I could see how a planet can be destroyed with that type of technology. Like if you have a beam weaponry that can hit a planet and penetrate it to the core, and if you have about 4 starships with a beam weaponry like that, and you hit a planet all at once, and then you have its core, boom, blow up, and like that, you've got a destroyed planet. Apparently, that's what happened a long, long time ago. They looked up the war in heaven, and it involved a couple of races of ETs, like the good ones and the bad ones, and it ultimately culminated in the destruction of a planet. Some of them call it Tiamat, some of it call it Malduk or something like that. But that's what created what we call the asteroid belt. And these wars have been going on for fucking aeons. And we're just at the tail end of what was like a massive war, and we're kind of like in a détente of sorts, a Cold War, if you will. Like I said, if the good ETs were to try to liberate us, then the bad ETs could flip a switch and destroy the planet if they wanted to. And this is one of many ways they could destroy it. Like, I hear that to this day, we have scientists and groups of people that are trying to do just that, drill holes to the center of the earth. And with reptilian guidance, they could have a hole already dug, and all they got to do is just dig down another fucking 12 miles or something like that. And like that, boom, it's over. And they're just waiting for the fucking word. Kind of like how it was during the Cold War when you'd have those dudes sitting around just waiting for the word to launch the fucking nukes type of shit. Same type of deal. Yeah, but the bottom line is, don't ever drill a fucking hole to the center of the earth, because something bad might happen. Yeah, we've ranted and raved quite a bit. Almost at that 1 hour and 1 hour and a half mark. I could probably go on more, but I think this might be a good time to end the show. Throw on a song. Like we always do about this time. Yeah, I think we're going to end the show, guys. It's been a fun one. Thanks for coming out, y'all. We'll try doing again next week. We'll see how much shit pops off in the news. Yeah, I'm at that point in my YouTube career where it's like I'm at the I don't give a fuck anymore stage, which means I kind of stream whenever I want to stream. I don't really have a set schedule. I kind of have this whiteboard, and whatever subjects I want to talk about or subjects in the news pop off, I'll write them down on the whiteboard. And like, all right, I've got a show right there, some show prep. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully shit tones down a little bit, but shit might just keep popping off too. And if it does, I'll be here to talk about it and give my hot takes on it. Tell me who you love. Tell me who you love. All right. Thanks for coming out, y'all. It's been a fun one.
I go to war. When I go up about the mall, ain't no carpet on my floor. I go to war. Follow me. We go down to Galilee. Out of green, rocky road. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love. 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 I go to war. Follow me. Little mosquito walking in the sky. She don't bark, boy, she just fly. Come all along and follow me. Go down to Galilee. Out of green, rocky road. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love. Tell me who you love. I go to war. Come all along and follow me. Out of green, rocky road. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love. 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 Promenade and green. Tell me who you love. 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 I go to war. Follow me. Tell me who you love. Tell me who you love.